Here it is for you guys. Enjoy.
All right, welcome to We. The Thunder. They call me Shooter.
Wow, that's a nice shooter. Let me have a look at it.
Take a look. And we've got Thomas Schooley.
Look at this guy. Classy fella.
He's a classy fella. Oh, Thomas Schooley. First, follow us on We the Thunder pod on X. We canceled the show about 45 minutes ago, and might not go well tonight because the wonderful service of Wow Internet has completely failed me all day. And I was telling Thomas, I didn't even have any internet connection for like seriously the last 3 hours. No connection whatsoever. Was on multiple calls with support. In fact, I called up Thomas, and I called up because my internet the last couple of days was just going like it was just kind of switching off and on. So I called up and I was like, hey, can you guys fix this? And here's what I get from support. Yeah, we'll take a look. Everything's down now. No connection whatsoever. Now they've got to have someone come out. And they can't even send someone out till Friday. I work from home, Thomas Schooley.
They apparently don't know who you are.
Yeah. So anyway, this is probably great because we have possible new sponsors watching today. And WoW is not one of them. So yeah. And beyond that, we go live. You come over and John comes over to watch the Buffalo game on Saturday afternoon. And we go live 3 times for what, 10 minutes, right?
Yep.
Once during intermission, first intermission, second intermission, and then after the game to just wrap it up. It was a lot of fun for everyone that joined. Hopefully you had fun too. But all of a sudden, a couple hours later, I start getting notifications how we're banned from going live again. So I don't even know if we're on Facebook right now. Do
we are.
Yet? Okay. I think it was like a 24-hour ban. And at first I was like, I have no idea what this is for. But I couldn't submit anything because you can contest it, right?
Right. You can appeal it usually.
You can't though, because you go on your phone or you go on the web and the form never comes up. So I just gave up after a while. But I'm pretty sure it's because of lightning and thunder sound effects, because we didn't even use our regular intro, which we have no problem with. But I remember in the past, we used to get like naughty emails because we used these thunder sound effects, much like this. And by the way, the effects that I used, like the longer effects, we've licensed. So we shouldn't be getting in trouble for them anyway. We've actually paid to use the sounds of fucking nature, Thomas Schooley. And we still I don't understand it. I see like other websites posting videos of movies and whatever else. We post a video with like less than a minute of a thunderstorm of audio, and we're banned. Anyway, I'm having a good week. How are you?
It's the big man trying to hold us down. No, thank you for being a host Saturday. It was actually a lot of fun. Shooter's got a real nice setup there. And then he made us some smash burgers. So it was pretty good. Oh, shit. Matthew Roscoe.
Breaking news. Matthew Roscoe coming back east. Only 5 hours away. All right. At least we got a little bit of a buffer, a 5-hour buffer.
Let's
welcome back though.
Get the restraining order out now. So yeah, it was a great time, and of course, anytime it's a win, it's even better.
That was a good game. Yeah, a couple good games. We got up to a 5-game winning streak. We lost the Sunday game in Detroit, which sucked. Bad day for Tampa Bay, losing 2 games up in Detroit. But I think the silver lining of that Detroit game was there's a guy named Andre Vasilevsky who definitely, based on that game and last night's game in Philly, looks like he's much healthier. than when he started playing this
Yeah.
season.
Yeah, he's definitely, and we talked about this during the intermission when Stamkos was on the block party and we were able to be there together. That Stamkos talked about how that Vasi, when he came back, wasn't the Vasi, and it was going to take him some time to get back. And it seems like he's getting back in that form. We have 2 more games before the All-Star break, and then I think when coming out of the All-Star break, it's like the start of the season for Vasi.
I hope so, because we're going to need him. Him and Cooch, we've basically been riding this season on his back offensively. So if we can have him, keep it up, maybe get a little bit of help. We're going to talk a little bit about Connor Sheary, because Connor Sheary is now the hate person in Tampa Bay recently. We kind of
There's
talked
no
about
Sergachev, no Chernak, so they're like,
who's next.
who can we go after now?
Matt Carl's
Oh,
left a
Sheary.
long time ago. He's the new Matt Carl. I guess that's what we call that guy that Bolts fans love to hate.
Schuster.
Schuster. Should we talk about it now? I guess we'll talk about it now. We just brought it up. Connor Sheary. So I've been defending him, and I don't know if I'll continue to defend him because his production's not that good. But the thing is, he's playing 10 minutes a game max. He's playing on the 4th line. He's got 9 points, 1 goal.
So here's what I compare him to: Bellemare, Perry, Maroon. That's who we lost, and that's who we replaced.
So let's look up Maroon's stats the last couple years with the Lightning. If he's the 4th line winger for us.
Right.
So
Did
what
you
should we
upgrade?
really
Did you
expect?
stay the same or did you go lower? In my opinion, you've upgraded.
I don't know about that, because the
Less
whole thing
penalty
about
minutes.
Maroon was big in the locker room. I don't know how loud Connor Sheary is in the locker room.
I don't know. He has a lot of experience. So I think maybe not as jokester as Maroon, but I think he's got a voice in there. And, that was something that Stammer also talked about, that different guys play different. If you guys haven't watched the block party, why haven't you already? It's been out. The new one came out today with Hayden Fleury on it. But
Who's
why?
gonna lose his job soon?
Huh?
Maybe who might lose his job soon, but we'll get to that.
But why have you not seen the Stammer one? The Stammer one was very good. And he talks about all the people that have come through: McDonough, Callahan, Marty, Vinny, Coburn, all the people that have taught him stuff in the locker room, how to be a captain, and that were also like captains also, and taught him when he should do something and when he shouldn't do something. So I think Sherry's one of those people too. I think he gets a lot of insight in Sherry.
He's no Pat Maroon though. All right, so let's look at this season, which is tough to compare because you're talking about 2 totally different teams. Maroons played 47 games. Sherry's played 30 games. Maroons got 4 goals. Sherry's got 1 goal. Maroons averaging 13 minutes of ice time, and Sherry's averaging 11 minutes of ice time. Maroons plus minus is -10. Again, much worse team.
Yeah.
And Sherry's at 8, he's even actually right now. So that was actually my argument with Sherry's, like, all right, well, he's not playing many minutes. Like, what do you expect from a 4th line player? He's got that playoff experience in championship pedigree. He's got 2 cups back from his Pens days, and he's not like costing the team when he's out there. We're even. If you take a look at Steven Stamkos, he's negative a lot. A lot of the guys on our team are. So let's go back then. Let's go back to last year. Through 80 games, Pat Maroon had 5 goals and 14 points. Connor Sheary, through 30 games, has just 1 goal, but he has 9 points. So what are we complaining about? We're complaining about a 4th line winger.
Here's the thing. Why are we complaining when we've lost 1 game out of 7? 1 out of 7. So
It's the Matt Carl effect. We just always have to have something to complain about. It's like, it was Bassy for a little bit when he first came back because he wasn't. Comment from someone that was in here. Diana, hi guys. I still think Vassy needs time, even if just mentally. I don't think Vassy would agree with that.
No, but I do think, and I think we talked about this, is that whenever a player comes back from injury, I think that rest of that season or that first year, or whatever, at least the first half, it's always going to be in the back of their mind. Are they going to redo it? I mean, literally, he thought the injury was over with at the beginning of the season and injured it in training camp. But I want to, thanks to Paul Driscoll. If you don't follow him on Twitter, why haven't you? He's at the Paul Driscoll. He put on today points accumulated by the top 12 teams in the East in the last 10 games. Only 3 teams have gotten more points than Tampa has, and that was Boston, Carolina, and Detroit. They have 15. Tampa and Florida are tied at 14. So in the last 10 games, those teams have only gotten 1 more point than we have. But here we are still complaining. I mean, I saw a tweet that was to you the other day. Watch, Philly's going to wipe the floor with us, and then that didn't happen. So points accumulated by the top 12 teams in the East in the last 10 games: 15 points, Boston, Carolina, Detroit; 14 points, Tampa Bay, Florida; Philly, 12 points; 11 points, Toronto, New Jersey; 10 points, Pittsburgh; 8 points, Washington and the Rangers; and 7 points, New York Islanders. You
said the Oilers, right? Because the Oilers, I don't think have lost a game this.
Sorry. Washington and New York Rangers, and then 7 the New York Islanders. Obviously, we know that the Islanders fired their coach and hired Patrick Wall. Right after I left actually when I was sitting out front of your house, that news broke, and I posted it right away on Thunderbolts on Saturday. So we'll see if they get a little swing of momentum there. Of course, his return to Montreal is today, and he did not allow his team to practice because he didn't want it to be a media storm.
Did he get a video?
No. I doubt it.
Yeah, so I don't know. I guess like Orozco says, 2 million versus league minimum is the complaint against Connor Sheary. But I mean, who else did you want to put there? Because they weren't going to be able to pay anyone else league minimum to put in that spot. I don't think.
No, and did we know that some of these crunch guys would come in and actually gel pretty good? No, I don't think anybody out there would have thought these guys that have came in would be the help that they have been so far. And same with Johansson. I think if we go back to the game when the show that we announced Johansson, when we talked about Johansson, I'm pretty sure 70% of the comments were he sucks, he sucks, he sucks. That was a horrible move. And then we had said if he got us at least 500 till Vassy came back, it would be good. And he did that. So let's just play the season, see what happens.
And as good as that Buffalo game was on Saturday, it really became the JoJo show the second half of that game. That's what we were talking about at the second intermission at the end of the game. Was he really saved our ass in that game? Because sure, we started strong with that 2-goal lead, and flashbacks of last night in Philly with 3-goal lead, but it was them able to hold off with JoJo and net. And we talked about it. Go back and watch. We're not going to say the same stuff we were saying on the post-game show for that, but you can go on YouTube and go watch. And by the way, if you don't follow us on YouTube, you should, because we might not be broadcasting to Facebook much longer. We might be YouTube exclusive soon. But yeah, I mean, that's what we were talking about. That was the story of the game. It was the first star of the game for sure on that Saturday against Buffalo, because Buffalo really came on strong in the second half of that game, and we were on our heels for the second half. So to have a guy like JoJo who you can.
Uh-oh. Did we lose Shooter? So who's frozen, Shooter or myself?
Yes, he needs a little get.
Oh. Let's see. Oh, looks like he's coming back. There he is.
I'm telling you, I wasn't joking around about the freaking internet situation. Wow.
I was like, wait, who's frozen, me or Shooter? People tell me which one.
It's going to be me. It's not going to be the first time. Well, you got to make this a quick show. I think, again, I have WoW internet. If you're thinking about switching over to WoW, I think the company was named for wow, this internet sucks. Because this is ridiculous. And the funny thing is, I know exactly what the problem is. It was the shoddy installation that they did when they installed it. Like, I'm the only one in my neighborhood that has wires hanging off the side of my house. So anyway, we'll get that fixed. Wow. That's all I got to say about that. Anyway, what were we talking about? Buffalo game, good. JoJo, great in that game. And then Detroit was a lot of Vassy. It seemed like after that first goal, and I wasn't able to watch the whole game. I was playing myself at what was it? 7:00. Yeah, 7:00 start time. I had a game. But it seemed like they scored the first goal, right? The Lightning did. And then what happened? Did they just quit?
Yeah, and it wasn't even, 2-1 game. Those are typical Lightning losses that we played for many years. I don't want to say I'd take a 2-1 loss, but on the backside of a back-to-back, on a 2-1 loss with Vassy and net, it's kind of expected on your back-to-back, and Detroit was kind of hyped up. They actually played the game between the divisional championship game between the Bucks and the Lions on the Jumbotron at Little Caesars Arena once the people entered the arena. So they actually got to finish watching the game on the Jumbotron at Little Caesars Arena. So I just think there was just a lot of hype going on there. They had the fans behind them. Bolts were on a back-to-back. I think everything lined up for the loss there.
And they were 0-3 in the power play that game, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's a killer. For the number one power play team, can't go 0-3. But it's pretty impressive to go for 3 and still be on top because they weren't really scoring too many power play goals in that Buffalo game, if I remember correctly. But they did last night. I had a feeling that Philly, it seems like whenever we play Philly, it's always a pretty entertaining game. And we usually win too, which is key to it. But yeah, the early point goal, Kucherov getting on the board, which should have, I guess it didn't count as a power play goal, but wasn't that one right after the power play expired?
2 seconds after it expired.
And then they did it again. I guess this is the second, maybe third time this season the Lightning have scored a power play on the road. Can't seem to. We didn't score any here yet, right? At Amalie, it hasn't been a power play here, or not a power play.
Hat trick.
Hat trick.
I was like, yeah, we scored power plays here.
A lot, actually.
No, we haven't done a hat trick at home.
Yeah, so maybe something to look forward to.
We've been on watch. We've been on watch like 3 different times, but the
last 3 games we've had people with 2 goals. But no, Cooch got it done with the empty netter at the end, the second empty netter of the game. And, we went back into the whole second period on the road suck fest in that game where we had a 3-goal lead. And I was certain that we were about to blow that 3-goal lead. And thankfully they held on. That AC Mont goal, another power play goal, was a huge one. But I was worried. I don't know if were you able to watch that whole game?
You told me to go to bed, so I did.
I did.
No, I got to see bits and pieces of it. I didn't get to see all of it. I did watch the whole recap this morning. I was actually in bed because April was actually messaging me to go to the airport when they came home this morning. And so did Kim, if she's out there listening. And I'm sorry to both of you. I was knocked out. So I watched some of it this morning. But I have a question. On the road, hat trick. Do you throw your hat or do you not?
Yeah, of course. If you're a Lightning fan, I didn't see anyone throw their hat.
No, but I mean, it literally was like, what, 4 seconds left in the game? I mean, do you throw it then?
Yeah, it still counts.
Uh,
I bring an extra old Lightning hat in my back pocket to every game. I'm waiting to throw one, and usually where I'm sitting, you can't throw them anyway because the dang net is at the covers half the ice.
You're the reason they haven't gotten one then at any game you're at, because you have that one.
I'm coming prepared. Thursday and Saturday, I will have my extra hat, and I will be sitting with Sticks of Fire tomorrow. So that's a long throw. So I'll probably hit someone in the head down in the 200 level. But I'm bringing my old Lightning sweaty nasty hat that I want to get rid of. I'm waiting because I will buy a hat. You know, you get a discount when the team scores a hat trick. It just hasn't happened this season. So 2 games left.
I used to sit in 128 at Amalie back before they priced me out, so that I had to go upstairs, and it was right outside the big team store. So if we were on Hattie Watch and I was on the aisle, I was against the wall, the very last row in 128 there. If we're on Hattie Watch and they scored, I went right out my section and into the team store. I would go right after the second goal and pick what hats I would want if it was 50% off, and then go and grab them as soon as they scored it.
By the way, if you're hoping next 2 games for a hat trick, the Gasparilla merch hats do not count towards that hat trick. They told me, because I was joking around when I bought my Gasparilla hat. I was holding out. I think that was the game where it was either Stamkos or Glendening. I think it was Glendening game where he had 2 goals. I told them I was waiting for Glendening to get that 3rd goal, and they're like, "Well, this hat wouldn't have been discounted." Dang, you guys are mean here.
They used to not be like that. They used to be a hat. Well, I take that back. I do know that they used to pull hats aside and not have them out if there was a hat trick. They would hurry up and grab the hats that weren't available for the discount.
You got to get strategic though. Like, I can't throw this hat. That's why I'm gonna just bring that old ratty hat, because if I throw this hat, there's no getting this hat again until Reverse Retro 7 comes out. No?
Until next year, Fanatics has something.
No, this is a one-of-a-kind hat. Come on. All right, enough hat talk. But yeah, the hat trick from Cooch was huge last night. Huge reason why we won. He hit 80 points. When we started that game, he was behind McKinnon. So I guess we've got to do it again. He fell behind for a little bit, but this is the segment of the show where we do our Cooch appreciation.
Can you make it simpler?
I don't think we can make it any simpler right now, Cooch. I think you've got it figured out. And Thomas can a testament to this. Right where I have by my TV, a bunch of pictures of the family, I've got the portrait of Uncle Cooch. Uncle Cooch is right there with all the family pictures. So,
covering a picture of him and his wife.
Well, I got to fit him in there somewhere. So we also saw Morella. Oh, yeah, we didn't even really cover the Wild game, which was last Thursday, because we were live last Wednesday. But yeah, you and I went to the Wild game together, and Morella scored his first goal. Hey, by the way, who had the assist that pretty much set that entire goal up? You remember? Nobody likes him. Connor Sheary.
Oh, it was Sheary.
Yeah, and basically that was a tap-in goal for Morella. So did he get sent down yet? Is he still with the big boys?
No, he's still with us. The only one that got sent down today was Myers, and then they called up. They just called out right before we came live. They called up Mitchell Chaffee.
Trying out everyone.
It's basically Watson's, because they did announce Watson's going to be week to week. So that's the insurance for him. It looks like Chernak plays against Arizona tomorrow night. From them sending down Myers, it would seem that's what that's implying, that Chernak is back tomorrow. I wish they would have waited until after the All-Star break, but hey, I'm not their medical staff. So
Yeah. What'd you think of the tribute videos? We got Maroon and Bogo. I, for some reason, thought Bogo at one point already had one, but apparently he did not.
yeah,
So we had
thanks
Maroon in the first
thanks to
year.
April, because the year after the bubble, we still had that partial season, and we didn't play Toronto that year because they had those weird conferences set up. So we didn't play Toronto when he played for them. So he never came here. So he never got the video.
That's a good point. Yeah. And then he came back.
So now he came back, which I think like threw everybody by shock. Maroons was really good. And he got a pretty good ovation. It's kind of hard comparing it to Killers, who was just games before his. And Killer spent so much time here that then you had Maroons who, he still got a loud cheer. He did the thing in the middle where he waved to everybody in the middle.
Bogo did too.
Yeah.
That's a new thing.
Bogo didn't get as big of a standing ovation as Maroon did.
Well, Maroon had his video was better. I mean, he just had way more iconic moments of him, with the cup. They didn't show him denting the cup, but they had the old chicken, thing on there. And I don't know, just him and Killer had way more iconic moments. Although Bogo, they snuck in the cooking with Bogo or grilling with Bogo, whatever it was, barbecue Bogo. And
it's funny, they did do several of the. And when you thought about it and you saw the clips, whenever they do those little funny things that they do with the players, each other in the locker room, you always had Bogo and Maroon. They played plenty of those during their tributes of the, read my lips or whatever, or what am I saying or whatever. And a lot of them were Bogo and Maroon teamed up with each other.
I'm just over. I'm done with tribute videos.
We have no more this year.
No, somebody told me we do.
Who else?
Colorado.
Oh.
Got to give Ross Colton a tribute video. He scored one of the biggest goals in franchise history.
Oh, yeah. I forgot.
So you got one more left with Ross Colton. We might see Andre Palat this weekend, but he already had his last year. But he might get back into the lineup. I heard he's skating with the team again. Luckily, Hughes is out till after the All-Star game, so catch a huge break again against Jersey. And that'll be a good kind of rematch because Jersey's going to get, as I mentioned, Palat and another one of their players back. And they played us pretty tough that last game that we did end up winning at Amalie just a couple weeks ago. So Saturday night's going to be a fun game. Gasparilla game. Shout out to the Six of Fire crew. I will be with them on the Lightning float at Gasparilla. So if you're at Gasparilla, let me know. I'll tweet it out on our We the Thunder Twitter. Let me know exactly where you're going to be at along the parade route, and I'll make sure we shower you with some beads. But yeah, 2 games coming up. I already posted earlier. You can use our code if you want to go. $20 off your first time at SeatGeek.com. Pretty good deal. And I'm sure there's a couple seats available for both those games if you want to go check out your Bolts before the All-Star break, because we'll have a solid week off after Saturday before they get back to it. Speaking of All-Star, we didn't get to talk about it last week, but Justin Bieber designed us some doozy jerseys for the All-Star game. Let's pull them up. Shall we take a look? I really want to know what everyone's opinion is.
Garbage.
Does everyone hate him out there?
Yes.
Let's hear in the comments. Does everybody hate these jerseys? There they are. You've got the blue mac and cheese, the red Heinz ketchup, the yellow mustard, and the white mayo. I don't know which team's which. I saw someone asking which.
We're the blue.
We're okay. So we at least got the best one, in my opinion, color wise. The yellow one's got to be the worst. But man, so they had a celebrity kind of design it, right? And this is the best we did. What would you do? I'm not going to pull up the whole design or jersey design creator that we do have on this show. For anyone that does not know that, we have a custom design creator, jersey design creator.
So, by the way, if anybody's watching the Yotes Panthers game, 2 fights in the first 7 seconds of the game.
Oh,
It's payback from the whole Nick Cousins incident.
so I didn't know that either. That's good to know. With Arizona's going back to back, and we get the back end of that tomorrow night. Diana says 3 fights. Apparently, we need to stop broadcasting and go watch that game.
I was just looking at just some breaking news and stuff, and it was 2 fights in the first 7 seconds. So they're probably up to their 3rd fight now in the first 15
Sounds
seconds.
like they are. April says they're Dorito flavored jerseys. I can see that, but there's no white Dorito flavors, I don't think. Fugly as hell. Bieber was probably smoking when he helped create this. I think he's probably was. You know what it reminds me of? That dang, all the stars, especially that big star, reminds me of Super Mario Brothers for some reason.
I better not do it. We'll be cut off.
You know what I would like to see them do? And they used to do this because I was talking to someone up at the beer garden last game or one of these last games this month. And they used to do kind of like a different variety of jerseys with the color scheme, but it was still your logo on the jersey. Why not do that?
Which now in years past, this is what they show with the NHL logo, but then the players actually wear ones with their own crest.
So you think it's going to be a Lightning logo on that blue jersey?
It could be. I think I want to say back when the All-Star was here in Tampa, they did the same thing. They revealed them with the NHL logo, but then it ended up having the Tampa Bay Lightning logo on it.
Yeah, I'm just disappointed that it doesn't seem that creative to me.
No, very, very plain.
Anyway, Super Mario Brothers is what that reminds me of. And guess what? We've got Super Mario Brothers.
There you go.
Sounds on this show. Oh, whoa, Mario!
Oh no!
That's what I said when I saw these jerseys.
Reminds me of Hardee's. I know.
Yes, Hardee's is good. Who said that?
But you know I'm
I'm right. Hey, what we figured out the one time I'm right was wrong earlier today when we're gonna frame that on Twitter. But yeah, he's right on that one. They remind me of Hardee's too. Let's go, and I got one more share. I don't know if this is confirmed because this is just on Reddit here, and Reddit's not always the sole truth.
We want to see Shooter's Reddit page.
I don't really go on Reddit.
Yes, the new mask that confirms
JoJo's mask.
Jersey. Yep.
Now, do we still think it's the leaked jersey? Do we think it's the second logo on a black jersey? It's not real quiet, but I don't know if that's because they wanted to get those Gasparilla jerseys sold out first.
I had gotten a message that it was not the exact thing as the leaked jersey, but it was pretty close. Oh, I got it. It wasn't a message. I got a phone call the next day from someone that has friends inside the league and said that it was pretty close to that, but that was not it.
Do you think they go throwback? Remember, I wore this jersey on Thursday last week.
Mm-hmm.
I call this the comic book Lightning jersey. You said you like it. I think this is everyone's least favorite jersey.
I do. I like it.
Do you think they go back to that? Because look at the bolt. That's the same bolt.
Mm-hmm. I think something similar. They're not going to do the same exact, but I think it's something similar. I think you have to.
Well, we saw the practice. They had the gloves, and I think they were the same pants as last year for reverse retro. Did they have black pants for reverse retro?
No, these are different pants.
So they had the black OG pants then.
Yep.
That they've been breaking in for practice. So I don't know what they're waiting for. Let's go. I would expect pretty soon we're going to see something. I guarantee they were waiting to get those pirate jerseys out, and those sold out obviously pretty quick. Baker Mayfield was first in line, I heard, because he showed up Thursday night wearing one.
Yeah, or they just handed him one as he walked in to try to sell the rest of them. And then
You think we would have won Sunday if Baker didn't go to the Lightning game on Thursday and maybe
no,
a little more tape first?
No. No. But listen, that's for a whole nother show, and we can bring Peter Blake back on because there's a lot of issues with that game. But this is a Lightning show, so we'll talk about the Lightning. And
oh no, so I have to bring this up. I went to a Bucks watch party, and I thought I was at spring break at the club at a Bucks game, all in one. We need to step up our watch parties. Which, by the way, I'll put in the chat. I'll put in the notes of the podcast the link to RSVP. I can't say anything yet, but you are going to want to come to the watch party, not just to get this puck that I have in my hand. We're probably going to have a much, much better offer than just that puck. So February 10th, let me find that link and put it in there. I've been meaning to send you the video of this Bucks watch party. It was by Crew Life. Those Crew Life guys had one heck of a watch party. They had a DJ. We need a DJ.
I got invited to that.
I went to it.
Did you?
And Peter Blake was broadcasting in the corner. He wanted me to go on the show, but I was like, nah, I'm leaving at halftime.
It was at Riveters.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And Peter Blake's broadcasting. They've got a DJ blaring music as loud as you can play music before the game and during commercials. And I go to Peter at halftime before I leave. I was like, dude, how are you even doing this? Like, how do you even focus? How do you even hear and broadcast live? Because it was crazy there. So yeah, we will be stepping up our game for our watch parties at Cigar City for the rest of the season. And if anyone out there is a DJ, you are invited to join us and set up. So we need a DJ anyway with a microphone so we can hear Thomas Schooley give out, prizes.
You might want to tell Cigar City that's happening first.
They'll be fine with it. There was nobody. It was basically just our watch party about halfway through the game. So we were running the whole show there. Anyway, go RSVP so we know how many people are coming. And trust me, next show, I'll have some more information on why you'll want to come to that. That's all.
Shooter's been working back scenes on some things. So
multiple angles and basically like just stuff for people that listen to the show or watch the show that are going to benefit from this.
Yeah, just so listen, you guys, there isn't nothing. No, it's the Cigar City on Spruce Street. It's the actual brewery. Sarah said she can bring her karaoke machine. Hey, Sarah, how about you just show up? That would be great. Just come down.
Yeah, it's totally worth a 4-hour drive.
Right. You can bring all 8 of your kids. It's okay. It's kid friendly. And have a good time. Shooter can even babysit a little bit. But you guys, just so everybody's clear on this, neither one of us is making any money off of this show. We do it because we have fun talking hockey. We like hanging out with you guys. We like meeting people. We like discussing a sport that we love to watch and talk about. And so anytime you see one of these sponsors or something that Shooter is working on, it is because of he tells them, I want something for our listeners. I want this. I want that. And it's all for the listeners. So listen, when he says that we're working on something that's very big, it's not for us, because trust me, I know what it is. And I wish it was for me and him. So
yeah, and if you don't know, Thomas and I both have very lucrative careers at coffee companies. Mine being Starbucks, and Thomas Schooley's being we won't mention that one. What else we want to talk about? We should probably go before I lose my connection again.
well, let's talk about some that's
Oh
going on.
yeah. Well, before that, this goes along the same lines as sexual harassment. Corey Perry signed with the Edmonton Oilers, who, by the way, are on their way of almost tying. I think they're 3 games off of tying the Pittsburgh Penguins record of 17 straight wins. They've got 14 right now, which is incredible. So, of course, Corey Perry is going to go ruin their chances to win the Stanley Cup.
Sounds great.
Yeah, it's over now. So yeah, good luck. It'll be cool to watch and see if they can do that. They've been, they started off so slow, the Oilers, but obviously been getting better throughout the season. But yeah, you can't sign Corey Perry and expect to win a Stanley Cup. Anyway, I don't know all the details about what's happened. I just have the headlines. So I don't know if you want to explain or go that in depth, but there are former Lightning players that are on this list of players that are in trouble with the league. And actually, Carter Hart, who is Philly's star goalie, did not play last night because he announced earlier in the day that he is taking a leave of absence from the team, which is related to what's going on with this entire investigation revolving was it 2018 World Junior Championship
2018,
team?
they had just won the gold medal. It was the World Junior team. The original suit included 8 players. There was a civil suit that was settled for an undisclosed amount of money. And now all of a sudden, London, Ontario police have decided to start an investigation. The NHL also started an investigation. It started 2022, 2023. They started the investigation, and now it looks like they're finally coming to an end on it. The Ontario police said they will have another statement on February 5th, but they have requested that 5 players turn themselves in, including former Bolt Calfoot, and Carter Hart. All 5 players have taken leave of absence from their team. One of them was playing in Switzerland, and they released him, allowing him to go back to Utah. So not Utah, sorry. I was reading another story about the Utah franchise, which I want to talk about. They have allowed him to go back, but it's the following players. So the people that were on the team, there's quite a few of old Lightning players. You have Taylor Radish that was on there. You have players like Cale Marker, Brett Howden, Carter Hart, Cal Foote. The players have all stated that they have fully cooperated with the investigation, but declined to comment further. Boris Tkachuk, Drake Batherson, and Michael McLeod are the ones that fully cooperated. Those were the other 3 of the 8 that were named, and not Alex Fermenton is the lone player that did not make any comments to date. The 5 players that were asked to turn themselves into the police were Michael McLeod, Cal Foote of New Jersey, Carter Hart of the Flyers, Dylan Dubé of the Calgary Flames, and former NHL player Alex Fermenton, who's now playing in Europe and has been granted an indefinite leave so he could return to Canada. So we'll be seeing if they turn themselves in and what's coming from that.
And this is all because of alleged sexual assault.
Allegedly, one of the players got her intoxicated was having sex with her. And once they finished, the rest of the team decided to come in and participate.
I mean, just horrible decision making by young fellas. And as I said to somebody that was asking me about it earlier today, there's a lot of not smart hockey players.
Yeah.
There's a lot of not smart football players too. So it's just kind of sad. And especially kind of you take a look at what happened with the whole Chicago thing last year. I mean, it didn't happen last year, but last year's when it all kind of came out. Hockey's going to start to get a bad rap with this stuff happening. So the NHL is.
We'll go back to Patrick Kane. I mean, come on, that was swept under the rug there.
Well, back then, everything got swept under the rug. I mean, I hate to bring up Kobe Bryant, but there were some pretty serious allegations against Kobe Bryant. I mean, and back then, stuff would come out and it would just be gone, a couple weeks later. So that doesn't happen anymore, and it shouldn't happen. So I'm expecting the NHL to fully cooperate, and I think Carter Hart from Philly's got the most to lose. He's the best player that's actually been named in the investigation, like Cal Foote, which is pretty disappointing as a Bolts fan. But I don't know. It sucks. The bottom line is
Austin Matthews with his alleged flashing that girl in the car. And then the Corey Perry. It's believed he might have flashed Kaylee Chelios, which is the reason why he was let go in Chicago. So this was a league where they swept everything under the rug, and now they're finally getting that pressure on them. And I think it was a Roscoe or somebody else who said, if this ends up bringing Bettman down, then so be it. That might be a win-win for the league and for everybody. But it's finally not being swept under the rug anymore. And and we put this in Thunderbolts. I put down a thing today because you don't want can't say they're guilty. They have a right in court and everything else. There is there was a civil and there was a payment made. So why do you do that? And all kinds of things. So you don't want to really jump the gun on anything, but we know this has happened several times in the NHL and other sports, and to see that finally it's going to be out there and people are going to be held accountable is really good. And the NHL says that they are doing their own investigation, but they will not announce any kind of discipline until after the investigation from Ontario is done. So we'll see what happens there. The problem is the collective bargaining agreement doesn't really give the NHL too much lenience on what they can do. I mean, when I was looking at some of the rule books today, depending on exactly what happened or what they're accused of or what they finally get found guilty of or not guilty, it literally could be just a fine, which is sad. That this was agreed on by the players' union against the Board of Governors.
Yeah. And, hockey, I think the NHL needs to make an example of it, but I think sports in general needs to start to address this stuff. Look at the Rays and Wander Franco and the disgusting stuff that's going on with that. It just blows my mind that these guys can have such a big opportunity and make such horrible decisions that are just going to ruin it.
Well, and here's the thing is that females now, back in the day, females didn't watch sports or didn't attend sports all that much way back in the day, Nathaniel days. But now women make up so much of your audience. Look how many females have now started watching football because of Taylor Swift, or they tell there's a reason why they put Taylor Swift on that TV so many times. And no matter how many times my Facebook is like, I'm tired of seeing Taylor Swift, get Taylor Swift off my screen. there's a reason why they do that, because it gets so many female ratings. There's a reason why the Lightning post some things that they do, because it brings in the female ratings. There's a reason basketball does it. There's a reason why baseball does it, because female is the audience that they still can tap into on sports. A lot of guys, they like their team. They like the team they grew up with, and they're set on their team. Females weren't in sports for that so long. So now they can feed into that sport and try to grab those females into that sport and get a fan there. So you need to start realizing that this is not the boys club anymore, and that you have a female audience, and you're going to have to adjust your rules and the way you do things and the way you talk and the way you act to females. Now, we've seen with the Lightning now, what is it? Our last 3 bench reporters now have all been females. You didn't see that often. Now it's starting to get more accustomed, and you see that a lot in all different markets where there's so many female sports reporters now. So I think these teams in sports need to adjust.
Yeah, and I think a lot of guys complain about that, but I mean, it goes back to what you were saying. Like, I think girls are going to feel more naturally inclined to watch a show where there's actually a female like them reporting on it. They don't want to just see all guys, which is what it used to be. It used to be 100% guys doing all these shows. So whenever I hear someone kind of complaining about ESPN having whatever woman commentating, first of all, they're all overqualified to do it. Like, most of them played professional hockey, or Kelly Chelios, she her dad's one of the greatest hockey players of all time. It's guys just need to get over themselves, and alcohol is not an excuse either, going back to Corey Perry, because that's kind of what I heard. I don't know if it's official, but it was all alcohol fueled, and inappropriate things were said to someone on the commentating team. And lucky for him, he didn't do anything that horrible for a team to not sign him again. But Edmonton said, "Hey, we didn't think that this was that bad."
But do you think that then allows that behavior? Because that's what I thought when I saw Edmonton signed him. I said, so it was so bad for Chicago to cut him, but then it's okay for Edmonton. And from what I'm reading, there were 6 different teams that reached out to try to sign him. So
I think when you're dealing with Chicago, who's already under the microscope, right, of like, get your shit together, Chicago.
Vinnick wouldn't allow it either. If
that's what we talked about. I think it was post game on Saturday when we jumped on, was Corey Perry's getting looked at teams, and Lightning are rumored to be one of them, and we said no chance. No.
And that's the thing, is that Evander Kane on Edmonton. So I mean, it's the same thing. You punish a guy for something, but then you're basically telling them it's okay because another team's just going to pick you up if you play good, if you have skills,
And Corey Perry's not that good anymore.
No, he's just leadership is really all they can get from him, is leadership in the locker room. And
I'd rather have Connor Sheary.
Yeah.
Hold on. I got a sound effect for that. Sorry, I'm still on the Mario stuff.
I mean, for me, it's telling anybody else coming in that if it was him showing his wang, that it's okay to get drunk, show your wang. You're going to get kicked off the team, but don't worry, you'll get picked up from another team. And so there's got to be something eventually where it's going to be, and this was part of the collective bargaining agreement. So I think that there's got to be a point where they're going to have to go to the table and say, okay, listen, this isn't acceptable and we got to stop.
See, I heard he just made an inappropriate pass, but that's very, very inappropriate.
Luigi, no!
All right, I'm done with the sound effects. Sorry.
So yeah, so that's just my thing. It's just like, and then so many people out there, they just announced Bedard is out another 6 weeks because of the broken jaw, where they thought he'd be almost back.
Yeah, that messed him up.
They had a setback. And then I hear so many people and I see so many people on Twitter and everything saying good, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And
Not good for the NHL.
I talked to
If
some
you like
people.
hockey, it's not good.
I got it right. Well, and here's the thing is I got in some argument with some people because they're like, screw Connor Bedard. He's all over the place. He's not the one putting his name all over the place. And I talked with you and John about this the other day when we were at your house. I felt sorry for this kid because of the fact that literally his first goal, they compared him to Gretzky. He never said that. He never came out and said he's the next Gretzky. But it's the NHL, it's ESPN, it's all these different organizations putting the microscope on him. And do you feel like that is some pressure on these kids coming out? You saw these kids that are in the sexual allegation. They were 18 years old. There's so much pressure on them to do things. And then when this whole Corey Perry thing came out, what was the biggest rumor? That it was with Connor Bedard's mom. I mean, think about being an 18-year-old, just starting NHL, being compared to Wayne Gretzky on your very first thing. Your very first shift, you have a referee telling you, welcome to the NHL. Never been done before, by the way. And then,
well, that you know of.
Well, right. That they've never had a mic on. Yeah. So, I mean.
And then the big rumor a month or two later is Corey Perry's banging your mom.
Right. I mean.
Ridiculous.
The poor kid. And then you get a broken jaw and you're out. I mean, he can't catch a break. And if you like the game of hockey, then you should like Connor Bedard, except for when he plays against your team. Because of the fact that he is exciting, he is fun to watch. He is going to bring so many more people to the game, to grow this game, to make more money, to make the salary cap go up. And that's why you should like these people that are coming in, that even if they don't play for your team.
I just want to point out, because Orozco said he likes Perry better than Sheary. I just want to point out Corey Perry's stats last year was he only had 25 points in 81 games and was a negative 28. So far, Sheary's having a much better season. And
Sheary ain't getting drunk and getting suspended.
I'm still trying to defend Connor Sheary. It's not going to last forever, but I'm still trying to defend Connor
So the other big news that came out today was that Utah has actually filed for, Salt Lake City has filed for the NHL to open up expansion and give them a team. So yay or nay? Do you like it or no?
No, because they give these expansion teams way too big of an advantage. Dude, the Lightning had to suck for 10 years.
Yeah.
Compared to these teams that are, getting Winter Classics a year in. It's ridiculous. So I'm not for any expansion unless they make it harder for these teams to be good right away. Like, I'm sorry. I don't think you should make a Stanley Cup your first fucking year in the NHL. And kudos to the management of Vegas that did that. But still, like...
Well, see, they did change some rules from when Vegas did it to Seattle did it, because Vegas basically made deals with every single team on who
they were wheeling and dealing. They did a really good job
right.
to build that team. It wasn't just the expansion depth, but I don't think the expansion draft's fair. I don't think I should be able to choose one of your top players from each team like that.
Right. And so Seattle didn't get, I'm still not sure. It was good for them, but I'm not sure why they didn't take Carey Price as their goalie once he was available, once Montreal, unless, they, of course.
I don't think he even ever played again. So good thing they didn't.
Oh, because he went into that program afterwards. But Utah would bring more money to the league, more cap. They have huge fan base. They've sold out, I think it's 213 Utah Jazz games because there's nothing else to do in Utah. So they're getting ready to win the Winter Olympics. So they're going to be hosting them, which means they're going to end up building an arena for the hockey team anyway. So for me, it sounds like they're going to get it.
That's fine. I just don't understand why we need to keep adding and adding teams. I don't get it.
And I'm right. What has Price done back when he was available for Seattle to pick from Montreal? He was probably the best option on the board. They ended up going with the Panthers goalie instead.
They made some weird decisions. They had some good players available that they passed on.
Yeah.
Tarasenko was one, I remember. Who'd they take from Gord, obviously.
Yanni.
How dare I forget Yanni Gord?
Oh,
Don't worry, folks. I still have his picture up in my room as well with my family, like some of you guys do.
Yeah, that's who they picked from Florida Panther as their starting goalie. When you had Price there, I mean, literally, as soon as Montreal did not protect Price, that's where everybody thought who was going to get taken from Montreal. And so they didn't get Grubauer first. He was still with Colorado.
Yeah, I think that was a trade. Hey, one more thing we didn't talk about last week that I want to talk about. Bally Sports. The Amazon bailout. So there's not much details on it just yet, but basically Bally Sports is going to be on Amazon. I don't know if they're going to rebrand it as Amazon Sports, but there's a bunch of teams, including the Lightning and the Rays, that are going to be shown on Amazon Prime, I guess pretty soon. So I don't know if you're going to have a Prime subscription or what, but I think that changes things. To be honest with you, I really, really like not the actual games themselves, but the broadcast for Amazon Thursday Night Football. So Amazon's got the exclusive for the NFL Thursday Night Football, and they're one of the only ones that actually broadcast those games in 4K. So if we can, I know it's 2024, and I think I bought my first 4K TV probably 9 or 10 years ago. If we can get one game in 4K, one NHL game in 4K, I'll die happy. I don't know if it's going to happen before I die. I'm in my 40s now. So hopefully we got a while to go, but that's kind of become my goal in life, is to get a broadcasted hockey game in 4K. And, maybe it's one step closer to actually being at an arena, because everyone that I talk to that I tell I'm a huge Lightning fan, and they say, oh, I've heard of them, I tell they need to go to the stadium. Don't go watch the game. So, maybe 4K, you can track the puck a little bit better if you're a new fan.
And no, it will not be on Hulu. Because Prime is not part of Hulu. And so after he says, no, that they did select Grubauer, then he realized, well, he signed as a free agent. Okay. But at the time when they did their draft, they picked Dredger, number 4 from the Florida Panthers. And number 5 was Montreal Canadiens, and they picked Cale Fleury, the defenseman that you don't hear from. So, and then number 6, Joey Decord from Ottawa, the goalie. So when you have Carey Price sitting there at that time, he was, he just come back he had just lost in the Stanley Cup Finals against Tampa. So that's what he had done. Took them to the finals.
I just put the link in for the February 10th watch party. Come hang out. Watch the game. Columbus Blue Jackets. Hopefully Vassy plays that game. If not, we don't have to worry.
April, I see you're a maybe. Why? Number one. Sarah, I don't think I see you reserved. Why?
What do we have to do? I mean, your first Cigar City beer is free. Do I have to like commit to actually serving the folks? Like I'll take your order and I'll go, pour the beer for you and bring it to you and thank you personally for watching the podcast. Is that going too far?
Usually Shooter is standing at the bar, holding it up, talking with anybody that walks over there to talk to him. See, April's gonna change it. April's saying she don't know why it was a maybe. She will change that to a yes. So there we go. One more. So no, it was absolutely a lot of fun. We're probably gonna have. Well, I can almost guarantee there's gonna be more people there this time than there was last time. Your first beer is free. There's gonna be lots of giveaways. So come out and have fun. I still have this whole box of swag here from the last one that I don't know if I should bring or if they're just going to give us another box of swag. So I'm going to put it in my car in the Swagmobile.
He's got a lot of room in that Swagmobile trunk too.
And see if I need to bring this out or if they have another box for us because we can do giveaways for the next 2 years right now.
Yeah, and if there's any restaurants or bars that would like to contact us, we have no agreements with anyone for any playoff watch parties, and the playoff watch parties would include a live broadcast afterwards too. So first we got to make the playoffs. We got to continue our winning ways in January into February after the All-Star break.
Sir, I am messaging you now where you can stay if you come down.
See that couch that Thomas Schooley's on?
you get to sleep with Thunderbug and Stamkos and my cat when she decides to make an appearance again. During the watch party the other day that we had together, his dog made the show. Now my cat keeps deciding she wants to be in it.
Yeah,
not to be outdone by Oreo.
We the Thunder, not just for humans, also for pets. All right, are we done with this?
Apparently, she didn't like where I told her she could sleep because she just said, "F you, I hate you." So,
oh wow,
yeah. Well, we won't count her as a +1 for the thing. No, come out and join us, guys. It's a lot of fun. I guess we'll both be in the building tomorrow night. I will not be there Saturday night.
No, you're giving me your tickets. I'll be in Thomas Schooley's seat Saturday night. Don't forget. And I'll be at Gasparilla all day. Don't forget. And remember, I'm going to tweet out Saturday and let me know what location you will be at for the parade, and we will shower you. Shout out to Sticks of Fire for I'm joining them on the Lightning float on Saturday, which is really cool. So
I've decided to be smart and not go anywhere near downtown on Saturday.
I'll make all your bad decisions for you.
And if you guys haven't checked out, if you guys have been, I'm not in 128 anymore. I'm now in 322. I am now next to the pipes. But if you guys go to a Lightning game, check out the thing Memento that they do now. And they do a little gift. There's me and Shooter there jumping up and high-fiving. And that's the most exercise I have during any game.
But you do quite a bit of singing during the games.
Yeah. Well,
the most unexcited singing of these songs that you could ever have. That's what you'll get when you sit next to Thomas Schooley. Like he'll sing it, but it's like the most unenthusiastic. Trying to think of like an example of one of the songs that they always play.
You're halfway there. Oh, living on a prayer.
You're not even that excited at the game.
Sorry, Serena. I'm not going anywhere near downtown for Gasparilla. Parking's going to be horrendous. It's just no.
I'll be there, and I'll be there early, so you can hit me up, Serena, or anyone else is going. Let me know. I'll be there, and I will have my chaperone, and it hasn't been discussed yet, but hopefully my driver for that evening. She doesn't know that yet. Maybe she's watching and finding out right now.
Well, I haven't seen nothing thrown at your head yet, so she must not be watching.
But yeah, it's always a fun day. That last weekend of January in Tampa Bay. But we got the Coyotes tomorrow night first. It'd be nice to go into this All-Star break going what? Well, that would be like 6, 7, 8, 8-1 in the last 9 games.
Yeah.
I'll take it. And then all the speculation is going to start about trade deadline. So we got to get the Lightning Insider on here to set expectations for the trade deadline.
Yeah, because you're starting to see now all the different. I posted it yesterday. It's the time of the year that you start seeing that they have different scouts at different games. The Lightning had 2 scouts at a game last night, and I've seen occasionally we've had one here and one there, and there's been several at our games. I see tonight the Leafs game. Tampa was one of the teams that did not have a scout there. So good. We don't want any of those.
Yeah, we don't want those guys. They're on the downswing. We're actually ahead of them in the standings right now, but for some reason they still have played 3 less games than us, which is ridiculous.
And they just got Samsonov back.
But JBB is going to try to make a trade if there's a trade to be made. The problem is out of draft picks kind of right now.
Yeah, we got tons of people in Syracuse that are doing pretty good.
Got some good prospects.
And for the people that are saying when Sergeyev's healthy, he should stay out of the lineup, shut up. We have not seen Sergachev with enough games with Vasi there. We have not seen them when the guys have been clicking. So do I want to see Lilleberg make this team? Sure do.
Could be interesting right there, but it takes 2 to tango.
Yeah.
I don't know how much I'm giving up for somebody that can't stay in the lineup, especially with the types of injuries that Chernak's had. And I love Eric Chernak, so I hope he doesn't get traded. But I think he'd be – the thing is with letting him make a trade, they've got to trade someone with salary because they're going to bring in someone with salary. So Sherry probably on the block and available, but again, it takes 2 to tango. So we'll see what happens.
Don't be surprised if you see Biz tomorrow night's game. The Pink Whitney games did the Pink Whitney night at Orlando Solar Bears last night. So with there being a game here in Tampa tomorrow and Arizona, don't be surprised if they are at Amalie Arena tomorrow.
And every no movement clause comes with a list.
Yep.
Always comes with a list. So never say never on those NMCs. All right. We got anything else?
Let's get out of here.
Yeah. Before this internet craps out again. It's going to crap out as soon as I go plop my butt on the couch and want to watch some TV. I only stream. So that's pretty much the way my year's gone. So might as well just go to sleep.
Forever. Oh, you just put yourself on mute. That's how your night's going. Nope, you're still on mute. There
Am I
we go.
back?
Yep.
No.
Yeah, you're back. Yes. But you can't hear me. God, you suck. This is amateur hour, guys. By the way, if you guys don't know and you didn't check out Twitter, we weren't nominated for any of the NHL fan Twitter podcast. Can you hear me? Apparently not.
Yeah, I got one more thing to say.
Go ahead.
This has been We the Thunder. Don't forget to be the Thunder.
That's it?